Okay, hey, since this video is about a guy named Webdawa, I wanted to take a minute and describe my own personal experience with this guy and see if anyone had any kind of similar experience. Now, it started a couple months ago. I was relatively new to YouTube, and I was going back and forth with this Muslim, Webdawa, and the question was, did Abraham build the Kaaba? Now, that was the question. And we were going back and forth with posts, and at some point he challenged me to a live debate on Stickcam. Now, I'd never heard of Stickcam, but I figured why not? I'll give it a try. I was told by this Webdawa guy that we would have a personal conversation, but it wasn't a public forum. But it would be he and I debating on whether or not Abraham, the patriarch Abraham, could have ever built the Kaaba. Okay, and so I get to this public room, and he and I start chatting, and I went through the Quran, the Hadith. I cited Ishaq and Al-Tabari and other collectors of early Hadith, and completely demolished these people when I compared all of that to what we know of Abraham and patriarchal journeys in the book of Genesis, chapters 12 through 50. In a couple of minutes, it got really hectic, and before you know it, all of his Muslim friends jumped. Okay, and at some point, Webdawa just, hung up the phone and ran away. After that, there was a couple more incidences where he and I were debating a couple of other topics on his channel, but he got, I guess, frustrated with me knowing more about his Hadith, his Sunnah, his Quran than he did. And he had no problem pretending that I didn't, and that I not only didn't know anything about my Bible, but that he knew more about my Bible and the Quran than I could possibly know. And that's kind of like the status of the debate. Now, I have met up with him on other people's channels and other people's videos where he can't block me. And we've talked about whether or not Abraham could have built the Kaaba, and the answer is no. We've talked about science in the Quran, specifically embryology, and I've completely dismantled his case of some new revelation in the Quran. And we also talked about, I think, the signs of prophethood and the covenant of prophethood that Abraham had and Muhammad did not. That's kind of where we're at right now. He's blocked me from his channel, so I can't leave posts. And, we sort of meet up on other people's videos and other people's channels where he can't block me. But that's where it's at right now. I'll debate any of these Muslims anywhere, but I've learned the hard way not to do it on a public forum. You have to do it privately, because they will jump in groups, and they've called me cross worshiper, man worshiper. I'm Roman Catholic, so they say I worship the Pope, and of course all of these things are dumb. But when you have 4 or 5 people throwing these things at you at one time, it becomes hard to answer, not to defend, but hard to answer. But that's my experience with guys like Sort of Allah, Webdawa, Farhan 00, and another chicken named AIM786. But I'll debate these guys on anything they want: Trinity, transubstantiation, faith in Christ, justification, sanctification, the law of Moses. But they got to answer questions about the Quran. We're not just going to talk about my Bible, which I can defend verse by verse, but we're going to talk about their book too. And when they're willing to do that, I'm willing to participate. But it's been frustrating and illuminating.